Okay, so we're in the SD22 portion of the Ellis County Republican Party convention. Just finished up SD2 resolutions, and now we're going to do SD22 resolutions.
You know, I thought I was going to catch it, but I'm a part of the military. Oh, that's smart. I know.
Yeah, you actually get to your phone. You got only two.
You might call that
Okay, at this time, I would like to thank the committee, the Resolutions Committee. We can get everybody to come to order, please. Okay, for Senate District 2, I would like to thank the committee for their work in preparing the reports. Thank you very much. And for Senate District 2 only, we're going to move on to other business and announcements. Yes, sir, Commissioner Perry.
We were going to give our state.
I'm sorry, we're unable to.
We were going to give our state Republican executive committee woman a moment to speak.
Quick.
Okay.
That's at this new business that he's talking about. That's the business we're going to have to take care of.
Okay, is there any other business before this convention?
This district, why don't you come on down and talk to Senator Door, District 2. Doesn't make any difference. Anyone you want to come.
I'm sorry, I know we've got been all day. This is going to be short and sweet. My name is Jerry Fisher, and I have been the SREC committee woman for SD2 for the last 4 years. The past 2 years, lucky me, was the resolution chair for SREC. It's a job. I don't put it on anyone, so thank y'all for being here and doing these resolutions. In fact, the 10 propositions that were on the ballot, my committee wrote those. And some of them are repetition, and I'm sure y'all have done it again. But we're going to keep doing it until we get it done. You know, and so keep writing them, and we'll keep presenting them to the legislature. And for those who don't know, the State Republican Executive Committee is the governing body for the Republican Party of Texas. So I'm the go-between the RPT and y'all. Okay, and what I offer is the executive, whatever y'all need. I do precinct chair training, I have a speaker desk. So, and I'm up for re-election, so SD2, Jerry Fisher for SD2.
All right, thank you. All right, is there any other business before this convention? SD2. Okay, hearing none, we'll move along. The state convention will be held on June 16th through the 19th, with the committees beginning June 13th at the Georgia R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. Are there any other announcements from Senate District 2? Okay. As the business of this convention has been conducted, the chair would recognize a motion to adjourn. Judge Wallace is making the motion to adjourn. Okay, what was the second one?
Okay, hold it down, please. They're in a vote. Everybody.
everybody, please.
The question is to a motion to adjourn. All of those in favor for Senate District 2 of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Yay! That is only for 2. This does not concern this side at all.
The ayes have it, and the convention is adjourned for Senate District 2.
But you do not have to leave if you want to stay and hear the rest of the discussion. Turn in your lanyards. Okay, everybody? Okay, let's be quiet. Senator, just because. Yes, take it backward, right? Go ahead. Before we get started. Just don't leave, please. We need everybody.
And everybody, just like to recognize that Judge Tom Little has some refreshments that he's placed here in the back. So if anybody would like some of those, please feel free to grab those. And thank you to Judge Little for providing those.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. I can't get them out. I got his out. Yes. Thanks, Derek. Yeah, you should, because we waited for you. I thought about leaving you, but the text that you called. Yeah, we did. They said you were running the house.
stuff around. Let's see if we can get this done and get out of here. Come on back. Still got one in the restroom. Hang on a second. We're ready to go here. Kathy?
Yes.
Why don't you get started?
Okay, this is separate, so when I say this is something, we're starting all over again, so don't think we're needed. We're starting all over again. Mr. Chairman, I move the adoption of the resolutions with changes made by the resolution committee.
Okay. Motion's been made by the committee chair to accept the resolutions as presented on the screen and read earlier, as is. Do we have, we don't have to have a second. We'll go into discussion. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we divide the question titled Change Identification Requirements for Voting for a separate discussion.
What is the, do you know the page number on that?
Okay, this thing says page 14, but it may be earlier, I'm not sure. It said change identification requirements for voting.
Okay, can you find that, Corey?
Talking about voter identification. Well, at this point, we move to divide this for discussion. The title on the spreadsheet was change identification requirements. Yes, that one. I moved to divide that one. What? You mean what? I mean, we discussed it separately from the package.
Okay, we're removing that one, okay, it's page 14, okay? Was there another one that you had to,
We have a second vote to
No.
divide that.
We have to have a second to do that.
we're in the discussion phase, all we're doing is pulling them right now.
Okay. Okay, all we're doing is creating things for polling. I move that we pull the one that talked about biometric identity for discussion. And there was no page where it was going to add it today. So search for biometric. Yes, that one.
Okay, what page is that?
Page 68.
68? Is that the only two that you had? I know, that's the only two he's bringing up. Travis, are you bringing up any? Okay, is there anybody else? Okay, hearing none.
You're not reflecting there? Okay, cool.
Texas referendum on independence on page 43. I want to pull the statutes resolution on page 47. And I want to pull the Trump censure, that says page 49, but I think it will show.
It's on there now.
Okay. Next.
We would like to pull the one labeled extracurricular activities.
Do you know what number it was?
I don't know, it was failed it was flagged as a duplicate, or repetitive.
It's 54 on the list.
Okay, do you have the page number?
Just type it in.
Is that correct? That's page 42, okay? Okay,
There is,
Microphone.
under parental guidance for viewing their children's curriculum for all testing and everything, including the STAR test, which I really feel like the STAR test should be something that parents have the right to go in and use.
She just wants to amend.
I want you, yeah.
She wants to amend.
yeah, but what we're now is just taking, what, I need to find the discussion point before we bring it
Right,
up.
page 61, 61 you're asking.
61, okay.
Star's not there yet.
Star's not there yet.
She wants to add it.
Any other discussion, items to discuss? Yes, JJ?
The two that were rejected, do we call for reconsideration this time? Or?
Yes.
Okay. So, two that were rejected, one was,
All I need is page number right now.
I don't have it here, right? See, these are for distance. Sorry, okay. Page number 52, election integrity, and page number 53, transportation. So, on 52 is a resolution to strengthen election integrity.
Okay, all I'm looking for is, once that we're gonna pull it this month, it will take them in order that was given and discuss them at that
So,
point.
that to be reconsidered, and page number 53, transportation, which for that to be reconsidered.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're gonna consider the following: page 14, page 68, page 33, 43, 47, 49, 42, 61, 52, and 53. We're going to take them in the order that was given.
She's double checking that it was 61 and not 62.
Okay, let's verify. Okay, let's go to page 14. We're going to have 3 for, 3 against, 1 minute each. Timekeeper down here will hit you with the dog. So, Who wants to speak?
It wasn't title 14, it was the one titled, application requirements.
Speak into the microphone, I cannot hear you.
It's the one titled, there we go.
Which page is this?
It is this one, and scroll down, I believe. Yes, that's the number. Okay. I move that we amend this, that, line 19, talking about including the voter registration certificate. I have worked as a poll worker, my amendment is to strike including the voter registration certificate. So that the amended wording be copy original government document that shows the voter's name and address. The reason I moved to amend is I have worked as a poll worker. I've had an 18-year-old very first vote. They did not have a driver's license. They were able to vote because of a reasonable impediment because they had their voter card. I think you would disenfranchise voters if you take away too many safeguards.
Okay, Corey, what page was this?
Page
10. Okay.
I'm going to strike. Yeah, so it's the second week and then we discuss.
Okay, do we have a second? Hearing no second, motion fails. Going to page 68.
This one has the word biometric in it. Biometric. It's hard to see.
Go ahead and take the mic off. Or just move it away. That SD2 people, they're gone. Just hang it on over here in the middle.
I move that we strike the word biometric identity or remove any paragraph talking about biometric identity. I am an opponent to anything that the government does to store my personal identity. Even if this is about aliens that we don't want in the country, I don't think that the government should have the right to store fingerprints, DNA, facial recognition, anything. I was opposed to the IRS requiring facial mandates for filing taxes, and I am super glad they got rid of that. I don't want it for aliens either. So I move to amend to drop both one biometric identity.
We do have a second. I'm going to take the chair's privilege. First Secretary for Senate District 22.
Megan's right there.
Oh, are you able to get all this? There. Okay. Remember, you need to tell her.
Yes. Okay, the amendment will be drop paragraph, or drop bullet 1, biometric identity of suspected illegal aliens be compared to the database of biometric identities of current and past suspected illegal aliens before further processing. And bullet number 2, drop a suspected illegal alien whose biometric identity matches biometric identity captured for prior attempt at illegal entry shall remain in custody in a case expedited as a probable attempt at a second or subsequent illegal re-entry. Because I am opposed to biometric identity.
Okay. Do you have anybody that wants to be against that? Come to the microphone.
Against changing that?
Yeah, against changing that.
My husband and I recently traveled out of the country, and when we re-entered the United States, we were scanned biometrically. While people are crossing the border and not being scanned, it's already in place. It is already in place. I complained. He said, this is it. They scanned our faces. They didn't even look at our IDs. It's here and now. So absolutely every illegal, and I said it to him, why am I being scanned? I have a passport. How many illegal aliens are coming across that border and not being scanned? So heck, yes, they're going to be scanned. If I'm going to get scanned, they're going to get scanned.
For or against?
I am supporting it as well. I support removing this. Number one, I'm not getting scanned yet because I made that choice.
The biggest problem here is that you have the word suspected. Guess who gets to decide who a suspected illegal alien is? Not your friends. So I'm going to suggest that we drop this part now, remove it, because when you're in a government where they can decide what you're suspected of doing, and just the suspicion or the allegation that you are now a suspected criminal gives them rights over your information and your identity, you've got some serious problems. Yes, having the get scanned is a problem. That needs to change. We don't add on to it and try to change it. We kill it at every step. So that's what I agree. We need to remove this.
Anybody else? Tell us who you are, please, sir.
My name is Jim Brunson, Precinct 33, and I oppose striking this biometric requirement. We are required to do that. I've lived in South Texas for most of my life. When you cross that border, you have to present ID to get across. You're being scanned. You're being made sure that you're a legal person crossing that border into the country. So to not require that is allowing illegals an open door to come in and do what they're doing to our country. So that's enough said.
Previous question.
Okay, the question's been called. All in favor of ending discussion? I'm sorry, wait a minute, we have a rule in place that says it's 3 for and 3 against. I've got to abide by that rule before we can call a question. Hearing none, then the question is, all in favor of ending discussion, say aye. Aye. And any opposed? Thank you. Okay. Does everybody understand what they're doing? What the motion is? Okay? To remove this portion. All in favor of removal? I'm going to call for a hand count. All in favor of removal? Raise your hand. 1, 2. What'd you get, Gary? I've got 10. One more time. Hands high, please.
Right behind me.
Only one hand.
I got 10 again. 10. Okay. All against? I think it's obvious it passed. It stayed. Okay. Page 33, Corey. Is this yours?
33. Now, 3 for the seizure. Page 33.
Couple more up. Or you can search for Donald J. Trump.
All right.
All right. You can search for more.
FLU.
FLU.
Okay, well, we're looking for it. Jason Bradford Watson, 1028.
It's supposed to be FLUORIDE, but it might be misspelled FLOURIDE.
There you go.
What page is that?
23.
23. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, this seems a little weird. I'm not aware of any, like, unacceptable rash of good, clean teeth. Is this something we really need to be putting into the platform? I make a motion that we strike this.
Okay. Jason, would you read it as you would want it to be?
I don't want it
Oh,
to
you're
all.
going to strike it totally?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Do we have a second? We got, Eric is second. Okay, go ahead. You got 1 minute to discuss.
I think it's pretty self-evident. We've had it run for years, no real problems. If it was a real problem, because it takes a lot of money to be putting this poison into our waters. And if we didn't have to, they wouldn't do it. So I am curious about what it's doing to us.
We're at
Yes. As long as there's 1 minute, it's finished.
Hi, Stacey Bailey.
Quiet, everybody, please. Give me.
Stacey Bailey, precinct 1003. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. It is a known poison. My husband has fluorosis, which is some discoloration and weakening of the teeth caused by too much fluoride. As a baby in infancy, he was fed formula, so it was a lot of tap water. And one of our children actually has just got a spot, which I have to take him in because there's a genetic component. So I actually am strongly in favor of keeping this in. Fluoride is something, again, it's a medical decision, should be a personal choice. If you want to add that into your diet, into your water, and toothpaste, etc. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we have 1 to remove, 1 not to remove. What are you for?
To keep it in.
To keep it in, okay.
I said
Parliamentarian, what was the ruling there? What were you saying?
We now need to have a speaker that wants to speak.
Okay, that's correct. If there's no other one to take it out, then it ends. This go. Sorry, wife. Chair does have some privileges, but not many. Okay. Hearing no more discussion, all in favor of removing this from the platform totally, raise your hand. You got 3? Okay, it's quite evident, but go ahead, all in favor of keeping it. Very good. It passes, it stays. So, okay, page 43.
This is concerning the referendum for independence. We get down to the resolution.
The whereas.
All right, Jason Watson, 1028. I get it that this is for a referendum, a non-binding vote. So at best, it is entertaining. And at worst, it's openly advocating to commit our state to treason. Absolutely. So, I'd like to make a motion to strike this.
Okay, do we have a second? Eric, second? Okay. Any further discussion for and against? For or against? You're for keeping it, that's correct.
Randy Donovan, 1003. This is a non-binding resolution for the Republicans in the state of Texas to have their vote counted on what we believe in. Do we want to not be represented by our representatives? I talked to most of them are against this. Why are they against this? Why do they not want us to have our opinion counted? Every resolution I've seen today is what Texas believes in. All of that stuff is Texas. It's get the federal government out of our business. So I'd appreciate it if y'all would keep this sucker in here for entertainment purposes.
Eric, you're for removal?
For the motion for removal.
Okay.
I have not always lived in Texas. I grew up in Texas. I moved to Utah. I moved back to Texas because I want to be here. But I want to be part of the United States. I don't want to exit the United States. I don't think we have the legal authority to leave the United States. We have the legal authority to subdivide into 5 states. No other state has that authority. But we were not granted the authority to up and say, we're not part of this union anymore. A civil war was fought in the 1860s when states tried to do that. I don't want a civil war. I recommend that we vote in favor of the motion to remove this resolution.
For or against, please.
I am speaking against removing this. Want to keep it. Amy Hedke, Precinct 1026. As the token analyst here, I'm not really too worried about Texas or the United States. However, you did point out treason. I'm down for a little real treason. However, United States law doesn't recognize a vote as treasonous activity. It's when you actually levy war, the action behind that. So this won't be treason if we take a vote. It'll just be a verbal shot across the bow. And as a country that was founded on treasonous activities, kind of seems like it's the American thing to do. So I'm all for giving people options to express their views on what they think about the United States. So I'm for leaving this in. So for entertainment purposes. For entertainment purposes.
Okay, thank you. Anybody for removing? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye. For what?
Closing
Do we move it or leave it? Close discussion. Oh, we're closing discussion. Aye.
Don't have to call it the closed discussion, it ends by rule. Okay. All in favor, I'm going to do raise hands, I'm sorry, it was too much. And do you understand, if you vote for this, you're removing this from the platform. Okay? All in favor, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. All opposed? Squad up. Okay. Let's see, that was page what? 28. 28 of them. Page 47. I'm sorry. Okay, who called for page 47? We did not get a subject matter from page 47. Taxes, statutes. Page 31. Okay, come to order, please.
This is kind of an overreach of state power. If the city of Milford has a statute of Jimmy Carter, and they want to get rid of it, by all means, they should have every right to get rid of it. So, I make a motion that this be stricken.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Amy Hecke, seconds. All right, any discussion? Okay, come forward, sir.
Do you want to discuss one report or a case first?
You may proceed, Ms. Hecke, about either one of you.
Yeah, in the same vein of the secession thing, as a voice of the people, he's right. Removing statutes is a speech option, but it should be done by the people and not decided by the government. So let the people decide if they want their statutes removed. But this is a prohibition. This is a government prohibition. We don't want government prohibitions. Let the people decide if they want a statute moved or not. That's your right. Don't see it.
Okay, anybody else? That was for, how about against?
I'm for leaving statutes. My name is Carter Gaddis, 252, Sons of Confederate Veterans. My ancestors fought for the Confederacy. We are defending our monuments all the time. There's no need of removing monuments. I'm honoring my ancestors. I wish you would too. When they come out to take our monuments down, I'm there to defend it. Please leave our monuments alone.
Anybody for remove? Hearing no other discussion?
Can I make an amendment to that?
It's too late. You can bring it up after this, but we're right in the middle of a vote. All in favor of removal of this, raise your hand. Okay, any opposed? Okay, it stays. Okay, you can make a motion, yes ma'am.
I want a motion to amend that.
Okay, and can you write it out right quick?
All it just needs to say is it can't be removed without the vote of the people, which is what Amy's saying. If people vote to remove it, remove it. If people don't want it, you know what I'm saying, the government, it just needs to be clarified. Because like Jason's saying, if people in the town want to remove Jimmy Carter's statue, they should be able to. They should be able to vote for the people. And that doesn't say.
Corey, can you put that wording in there for us? Work with Corey real quick. Don't remove it.
on private property, they're being removed. They're not on state property.
I'm not advocating for removal of private.
It says not privately held.
Actually, I'm not even
Okay.
advocating for this statute.
Is this, Paula, is this all that you want on the amendment? Okay. We got 3 for and 3 against. You want to speak, Paula?
No, I just think that what Jason pointed out is correct. If a town doesn't want something in their town and the majority of the voters agree, they should be able to remove it. But this is probably not, I'm thinking this is the way to protect the statutes more, because most people, the majority aren't going to vote. But if that town wants it done, then that should be the voter.
And with the election, you have a lobby period.
Wait a minute, one at a time. That is for. Do we have against?
Voters change. Some voting group put it there, another voting group takes it down. Later, another voting group wants it there, it's there.
Okay, do we have another 4?
SD2 is eating dinner about
I'll speak for her. She's right. It's going to vary. We have laws every 2 years that vary. The legislature puts something in, next time they take it out. That's the reality of the world we live in, and until we have a better way of effecting and implementing policy, we're kind of stuck with it. But it sure beats a city council acting unilaterally without any voice at all, because at least with an election, you get a chance to go lobby your neighbors and turn out the free speech. This is the problem with free speech. It's not guaranteed speech. It's the opportunity to speak. It's not a guarantee that everyone will agree with you. So.
Okay, that was 4. Were you against, sir?
Yeah, I'm against leaving that in there. I traveled the world over, Germany, every place else, wherever there's something on for the Holocaust. The Germans aren't excited over it, so we rip that out. Where we don't like generally, we rip that out because he had slaves. We don't learn the history of that. That's what free speech is about, is the historic events that took place in this country, in this globe, and us learning from them, and it allows for you to have the interaction of conversation, because somebody doesn't want to see a Holocaust statue sitting in their backyard because they happen to be anti-Semitic or whatever the case might be. Then for them to have the right to go ahead and canvass their community and say, let's rip that out of here because I don't like that free speech, that's inhibiting, that's suppressing that. So that's why I say I think this is ridiculous to try to manipulate what's been put in there, because monuments and so forth aren't put up just for the 5 seconds today. It's put up because of a historical event that took place.
Thank you, sir. Okay. That's the end of the discussion. Ladies, let's take a vote. All in favor of removing the words that has the line through it and adding the words that are in red?
What does it say?
Read the word, read those red words.
Okay.
Read the font, read the entire thing as it would sound if it's passed.
No horrific statutory monument, nomenclature, or symbol federal, state, local government, to read with the class, local government, not privately held property, shall be removed, altered, defaced, or allowed to suffer demolition by neglect unless approved by the voters in that jurisdiction. Okay. All in favor of this amended resolution, say, raise your hand.
Raise your hand like you mean it if you're voting. You can't see yourself.
I got 14. What did you get?
Got 50.
Okay, one more time, please. Sorry.
Hold your hands up high.
I got 17 that time.
Yeah.
Okay, 17. Okay, all against? Yeah, it's over 20, so it fails. So it goes back to its original state. Goes back to its original state, that motion fails. Okay. Page 49.
I just want to see whether or not it's actually.
Go to the mic, go to the mic.
I apologize. Actually, this is more of a point of information, more than anything, and that is, did this actually reach the level of what's required for Rule 44? And I don't think that it does.
Not a Rule 44 century. What is Rule 44?
Rule 44 is
within our party.
So it's a censoring of the individual that is in our party.
And it has to be an office holder and all that, he's currently not an office holder.
Yeah, Rule 44 involves party-specific penalties.
Right.
A regular censure, just a plain old vanilla censure, just says, we don't like you.
Yeah.
Let's change.
Okay. So you're withdrawing, correct?
I'm rescinding the.
Okay, so moving on. Page 42. All I was given was page numbers, not titles.
Okay. So we actually did have a question, of course, this came up earlier during SD2, and the resolution as written, titled extracurricular activities, was failed, cited as repetitive. We wanted to make sure that the information was actually addressed. We weren't sure that it actually was duplicated. So what this was intended to be, first, currently you should know that homeschoolers in Texas currently have educational freedom. We have no government oversight. We have no testing requirement, no strings attached. We have, we have to use a bona fide curriculum and teach a certain number of subjects, and otherwise we have complete liberty. The first time, and that has only been since the 1980s that was established in Texas, so in all of our most of our lifetimes. The first time that changed was just in the last couple of years. The UIL Equal Access Bill, nicknamed the Tim Tebow Bill, was passed, which was presented as a positive thing for homeschoolers to allow them to participate in public school sports. However, the state imposed an unequal testing mandate on homeschoolers.
Okay, 2 times up. Now, one second. You did not state your motion.
Right, okay, I move to add this, to reintroduce this resolution, okay, but we want to reword it. So, let me move again, hold on, let me find it. Okay, so, be it resolved, I would like to make a motion for a resolution that it would be resolved that the Texas legislature, that we would encourage the Texas legislature to repeal the UIL Equal Access Bill, also known as the Tim Tebow Bill, and that we
Wait a minute. Are you amending this? Are you giving me a new resolution?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No,
I haven't done this
you
before.
can't. This is on the floor, so you cannot amend.
Okay.
You cannot introduce a new resolution. I'm sorry. So you can.
I'd like to bring it back up for a vote, and I'd like to amend it. for a vote.
You're making a motion, Chair.
I'm making a motion to approve this resolution.
Okay. Okay. This motion has already been made by the committee, so you don't have to make a resolution to approve this. So, this one was rejected, I'm sorry. Okay. So you make a motion that you, yes, you accept this as part of it. Okay. Do I have a second? Several seconds. Did you get a second there, Secretary? Okay. Is there any discussion for or against there?
Can I ask a point of information?
Yes.
Which is this a duplicate of?
That we also were wondering and wanted to clarify.
So can we take just a minute to verify which?
Do you know which one? It was discussed that it was a duplicate of the TiVo bill.
Of the TiVo?
Yeah, because there wasn't a clear definition in the resolution defining it difference between this resolution and the TiVo bill of what the extracurricular activity.
Can we put the TiVo bill resolution here on the screen?
There's not one here.
I don't remember.
So this is not a duplicate of.
It's a law, it passed.
It's already in law that they want to change the law.
Right.
So I think, if I may, I think what, yeah.
So this is a duplicate of last convention, but we're in a new convention, and some of us want to see this law repealed.
Yeah, bingo. That was what we wanted to amend it to.
Okay.
So there needs to be some wording that we want the TiVo bill repealed and that we want this.
So the TiVo bill allows homeschoolers to participate in public school sports, except, that's like the headline of it, public schools can opt out. It's an opt-in program. They don't have to do anything. And then if homeschoolers want the opportunity to maybe participate, if the school district lets them, they have to jump through a number of hoops and do testing that's not required of public schools.
We're getting far-fetched of what is on the floor right here. So at this point, we need to for or against this bill and this bill only, not any, because nothing has been proposed to add to it or subtract from it. No, you've been done.
I'd like to speak for it.
It's already, you gotta have somebody against it.
She's the author, though. She spoke to her motion, but now we're in discussion.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I'll give you that, Amy. But, while she is talking, if there's anybody that is wanting to accept this as it is, the committee days, please come up so we can move along. Please speak at the mic. Don't speak out in the crowd, please.
So yes, this is for changing that law. One of the things that we found out when that law was passed is that there is a testing requirement just for a parent to be able to say their third grader is passing the class they are teaching. The TiVo law establishes that not a single homeschool parent in Texas has the authority to declare that their own child is passing their own class. That's the basic premise of the biggest problem with TiVo. Lots of great ideas, football, shouting, scholarships, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the state has no authority to decide if my kid is passing a class I am teaching. This testing requirement, even though it's voluntarily entered into, applies to every parent in Texas. There is not a single parent in Texas, not a single homeschool parent, that can avoid doing this if they try to. I mean, it's great. Sorry.
Time's up.
I wasn't watching.
We get involved. Any other speakers? Okay. Is everybody clear with what we're voting on? The committee report says reject. They're wanting it to be approved. Simple as that. You vote for to make this approved. You vote Against, leave it rejected.
Can we scroll up to the result part?
Yes, you can. That's a point of information. Person is allowed to do that. A delegate is.
Well, the bottom is background. See the word background is underlined. So it's just the top part that applies.
Can you read it, please?
Be it resolved, we encourage non-public school parents to create extracurricular opportunities for their children where they are not readily available and in a manner that can be free from discriminatory testing, intrusive government oversight, or harmful school policies. We reject the notion that the only way to be successful in extracurricular public school activities is by attending public school programs and competitions and by abiding by public background. I'm sorry, I'm getting lost. Public school standards of academic achievement. Background for several legislative sessions. Okay, that's all you need.
Just the result.
Okay. Any other fours or against? Wait a minute. Unless you're at the mic, you don't talk, please.
It's 2 o'clock somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Is the state currently saying you can't go play soccer?
No.
Or?
No, and I was wanting to amend this to also state, that we resolve to, yada yada, the party to push for repeal of that UIL equal access bill. That's what's fueling this resolution. It may not have been the best written, but.
Yeah, you have to be proficient.
Before you can run in the track.
Go to the mic, please. So everybody can hear.
Information, there is another extracurricular resolution that has passed. We can pass both and let the state decide, or we can bring up the other one and look at that one as well.
Okay, to do that, you pass this one, and then you submit the one that she's talking about later on. Okay? Do you understand? All in favor of passing this bill, basically what you're going to be doing, putting it in, since the committee rejected it. All in favor of doing that, raise your hand. That's a majority. Thank you. So, that goes from rejected, you got it. Very good. Okay, now, let's go to page 63.
Yeah, they already did this.
She's fine, she got
For now, it's approved. We said, oh, we're gonna send that to you. And now it will say.
Okay, this one's been removed from consideration. Okay, page 52. Okay, who's brought this up? Data for privacy. Yes, ma'am. When we get to that point, I'll recognize you. Okay. Did anybody want to look at this one? If the number was brought up? Okay. Hearing nobody wanted to work on this one, let's move on to 53. Okay, who? I'm sorry?
53. Should be strength and election integrity. It's on that.
Okay, do you know?
You want to look up the keyword, impediment. If you look up impediment, it's all about musical impediment. Search impediment.
Okay, roll up to the page number.
Yes, fill out the impediment.
Is it election integrity?
That's it right there, you're there. Whereas on that.
Okay, go back. Okay, go ahead, JJ.
Okay, so I'm an election judge myself. Reasonable impediments exist, we allow them to vote without ID, right? The problem is that ballot is a regular ballot, not a provisional ballot. So regardless of how they get a reasonable impediment, they fill out a reasonable impediment form, they present you their water bill or whatever the heck is allowed, and they get to vote, and it's a regular ballot. So it's now mixed in the rest of the ballot. 2 hours later, let's say John Smith did. 2 hours later, John Smith shows up, selling a vote. Oh, you've already voted. It says here you voted. No, I didn't vote. It was too late. You can't go find the ballot. It's gone. Right? So now John Smith can do a provisional. But anyway, it's a mess. We'll never be able to catch the person that voted fraudulently because when they signed the impediment form, they signed it John Smith. So they're gone. Right? So what I'm proposing here is that they have to put a thumbprint on the reasonable impediment form. So two things. It will discourage them from doing this. And if they do that, we can use that thumbprint and it'll hopefully trace down the person that voted fraudulently and put them under the jail. So for this to be rejected, I'm not sure why it's rejected by the committee, but it was. And I asked that it be unrejected and be added to our approved resolutions.
How was it rejected?
It was rejected because who's going to be responsible for doing the investigation on the government? How many weeks after the elections are already over, will that be investigated?
Okay, you gotta answer that question. First off, the only time it's investigated is if there's a question on the ballot. Right? Again, John Smith shows up later. Now, this one needs to be investigated. You turn it into law enforcement, local law enforcement, anyone else that would investigate violations of election law and say, hey, someone signed this, it wasn't the right person, can you find out who it is and go get them? So that's pretty easy to be a law enforcement place. So that's that answer. Correct. They may not find it, don't get me wrong. But the fact that you even have to have a thumbprint is going to prevent a lot of people from trying it. And for those that do, I can tell most of them are probably criminals already of some kind anyway. All right? So it's hopefully to prevent this from happening. And if it does have a chance, you have no chance of finding the person as is because they signed somebody else's report.
Okay. Any other discussion needs to come to the mic? For or against?
I am for having the staff in, right? So the thumbprint thing works two ways. If you have somebody come in who really is John Smith and they put their thumbprint there, and a second person comes in and says they're John Smith, then the first John Smith is on record with his own thumbprint. Investigations, who's going to do everything, that's what the Texas legislature has attorneys to figure out if this even made it to a bill. So I just want to remind people, we're not writing legislation here. We're just coming up with ideas. and putting them forward, and if the legislators are ready, they can go ahead and discuss it more. Point of information, maybe?
Okay, now I've got a question. Is this a thumbprint for everybody that votes?
No.
So,
Can I ask you a question? It's only if someone claims a reasonable impediment. The last election, I had 0 in my polling place, so this is fairly uncommon.
okay,
But when it happens, we need to catch a person that lies.
Yep. Moving on, okay.
Or I will speak against. I am opposed to reinstating this because a form of thumbprint is a biometric identification. I already had that conversation.
But it's a different purpose.
For or against? Okay.
My name's Jim Hendricks. I think we ought to, anybody in here who has concealed carry, you gotta give a thumbprint.
There's not a lot of print. There's a lot of print.
That's what I'm asking. And that will stop a lot of this fraudulent.
Okay.
Okay, that was for. Do we have it against? Hearing none? Do you know where we're at? Okay. All in favor of removing the rejection, say, raise your hand. That's a majority. It is unrejected.
What was the name of that, please?
Resolution to strengthen election integrity.
Last but not least, I got page 53.
Last but not least. Yeah.
All right, so this was rejected for some reason. Scroll down.
I can't hear what he's being said.
Microphone.
Come on, JJ, you
Okay.
can
So this was rejected.
What do you do on the screen?
All right, so let me explain this one. Currently, when a bar closes at night, there are bars that have deals with local towing companies, and as soon as it closes, they call the towing company to tow all the cars. They then charge the person $400 to go get their car. The bar gets to take it back, towing company keeps the money. Great. Unfortunately, this encourages people who may have drank too much to try to drive home as opposed to calling Uber or Lyft or calling a friend to pick them up, because they risk now $400 to get their car. Trying to do the right thing, but they get punished for it. Basically, what this says, we're asking for legislation to give a 9-hour window after the bar closes before you can have the car towed. That's all it's asking for.
Okay.
10-hour window.
For or against?
Need a second.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're correct. You have a second? Sir, what's your name again? Okay. Hearing no other discussion? Yes, sir?
I'll give a discussion on, just to be on.
Please come to the microphone, please. Be careful being in front of this.
Okay, I see what you're looking for on that, I understand that. Not all bars, my name's Chris Borowski. Not all bars require that they're gonna have a tow there, so wherever you park, you should always be aware of the tow signs that are out there. And if you feel you're really gonna get on a bender, you probably should take that into consideration of where you're gonna park your car on the street versus parking it in there. And I would also say $400 for a parking setup is still a lot cheaper than a DUI or a DWI. So at the end of the day, I think private property should have the right to do what they want to do on moving things, just as we were talking about earlier. But I do understand exactly what you're saying on the piece there, but I would say leave it up to the private company or the private staff to do what they want to do.
For or against?
For, stating
Okay?
I think that having those signs there, I don't think anybody goes in planning on being too lit to rock. So therefore, if these signs are there and you're young and you can't afford anything else, let them stick it off. Because I believe in some of the places where these signs are, that the bar is quite possibly taking a kickback from the tow place, which that's right and that's wrong.
Okay? Travis, tell us who you are, so the secretary.
John Smith. I think it's pretty easy here. Get the hell out of our businesses. Government has no reason to be there. It's a private business. It's private property. If you park there, it's your decision. We made a couple poor decisions inside the bar. That's on you also. It's not the business owner's fault. If they want to open the next day at 9 a.m., there's 10 cars out front, and you were there till 1, you're taking away their parking spots from their business. Get the hell out of there.
That's why we should be at the time. And I'm glad you officers were so sure.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none? Okay, to remove the rejection from this, raise your hand. Okay, to keep it as is, it stays rejected. Okay, Anna, you wanted to propose an amendment?
So going back to the extracurricular activities resolution, I would like to, I would like to amend that, I move to amend that to read, be it resolved that we encourage the Texas legislature to repeal the UIL Equal Access Bill. Do you want to strike this? No, I'm going to add that to it.
Let her finish, and then she will submit it to the secretary in order to, so everybody can see it as is.
So be it resolved that we encourage the Texas legislature to repeal the UIL Equal Access Bill, and we encourage the Texas legislature to encourage, leave the rest as worded in there. So we're just specifying that and adding that we want that UIL Equal Access Bill repealed.
Add that to the end of it.
Okay, so what I need for you to do is to give it to Corey here. Let him put it up there so that everybody can see what she's saying and read it as a whole.
You've already read it. I was going to stick the repeal in there first as like the most important. So be it resolved.
we can hopefully make this work.
It's like Jenga.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull this around. Because you know how these bags are, when you pull them out, you get twice the space.
Exactly.
If I can pull it out. Without half of it falling on the ground. Okay. Let's see. Oh my gosh.
Hold on,
I think the
let me,
bag's gone.
here, let me do this.
Here it comes. It's coming. There we go. It is pretty cool. Look at that. Hold that for a moment. We'll go over and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your help.
Okay, everybody, let's look at this last one here.
So it's been suggested that we just keep it short and sweet and just strike all the long wording and just get to the point of, that we resolve to repeal, to encourage the Texas legislature to repeal the UIL equal access bill. Period.
Okay? Does everybody understand where we're at? We're removing everything on the wording of the other one and inserting this.
Point of order, someone suggested that part of the reason for rejecting it originally was that the wording made it sound like homeschoolers were not capable and needed to be told, go do it yourself, which the actual motivation and knowing the authors of this resolution is we're already doing it ourselves and we're wanting to remind and rally the troops. So
That's not a point of order, it's a point of information.
I'll learn on the fly.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, we're all learning. So, I just want to make sure you've had time to take all this in. All for the removing of the other amendment and inserting this. Did you want to speak? Go, sorry, come on.
I'm not trying to take a shot at homeschool at all, because the ones that do it right, they do it right. The issue here, though, does lie in the UIL itself and in athletics, because there has been a significant, and this is just from speaking from a level playing field, there has been a rash of homeschools which don't do it right. They don't educate the kids. It's very poorly done. Where they group together these select kids, high school in Dallas is one, and have them compete in the UIL, and it's a select team that is competing against the kids who are doing it right. I don't know everything about the equal access bill, but I'm not for openly allowing any homeschool kid to join up in a group and compete against other kids.
Thank you. Go ahead, Amy.
So, just to clarify for Travis.
Wait a minute, no discussion out there.
So right now, the UIL Equal Access Bill currently allows homeschoolers to participate in UIL events. We oppose that. We want to see that bill go away. But to address what you're talking about, when the TiVo thing first came up, I kind of went blind reading through UIL regulations. Anytime that there is an academic question of any participant's academic record, they have an entire committee that the student has to go before and prove everything. So if there's concerns about academic eligibility, that's already built into UIL. And UIL actually doesn't require testing. They just require the school. Right.
Okay, Paul.
Okay, so my understanding, we were in Austin when this was going on. Homeschoolers, the majority of homeschoolers did not want this to pass because it's government oversight into their homeschooling. homeschoolers could come and join Christian school sports. I think that's what y'all were saying. And my niece homeschools, they have their own homeschool league. They don't need to do UIL. But there are homeschoolers, like Travis was talking about, that are taking advantage. So I think they're correct. Just repeal it. Don't let any homeschoolers in UIL, period. That's what you're saying. So that's what they're saying. So that no homeschoolers can do what this group of select athletes are doing. Right? We don't want this deal. We want it to go away. Homeschoolers want to do their own homeschool events. That's why they want it to go away.
Without giving the entire room a background on that.
We're not discussing from the crowd. So, everybody's had their turn to speak. So, you understand where we're at? All in favor of removing the existing blank and putting this in instead, raise your hand.
It's okay to abstain. Let it go abstain.
It's over 20, so it passes. Okay? Okay. Is there any more business to be conducted at this convention? That is correct. Well, you have to vote on the committee report is correct. As a whole.
As amended.
As amended.
Can I make a motion to accept all of the resolutions that have already passed and that were presented, but then accept the changes that you did on those resolutions about taking private out of some of those? No.
No, I'm sorry, say it again.
So, the changes that you made on the two resolutions about taking private out, accepting those, along with the slate that's already been presented as a whole.
We want their slate, how they changed it.
Yes. No, those two.
We don't want that. We don't want it. We didn't even discuss those over here.
Yeah, the next year we're gonna leave that out.
Okay, then I move that we take the slate as is.
Okay. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do.
Second.
Okay, we're voting to accept the committee report with changes. Okay? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Sorry, it needs to be recorded. So, now is there any more business for this convention? Yes, sir.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
With the exception that I'm going to tell you, please leave your lanyards and please hang around if you can and help us clean up. All in favor of signing die?
Sign it up. Sign it up.
Just waiting for the out to clear. Oh,
Somebody call the judge.
that's still on her video. You can unplug it. It's over.
I'll get my crap out of the way. Sorry.